Hey guys, how are you doing? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I'm Aurni and thank you so much for tuning in. So I have been desperately wanting to do a video where I could talk to you guys, and it's becoming very difficult to do that in the summer because for that I'll have to turn everything in my room off, the air conditioner, my fan, and it's just way too hot for that. But I'm still going to try and do this. I tried to make this video yesterday with this very bold green eye, but then it was becoming very difficult to talk in front of the camera and work with the eyes because I needed a lot of concentration while doing it. Anyway, so I'm going to do a very laid back easy look so that it's easier for me to talk in front of the camera. So we are going to be starting off with priming our eyes. I'm just going to take my concealer as always and then just put a tiny bit on my eyes. I have seen people on Instagram, the people who do the very bold, colorful eye looks. Apparently, they just put the concealer on their eyes and they don't really set it, and they put the color directly on the concealer. And I find that so weird. But I want to try it out too. I mean, if it helps you to get the color payoff, then I'm sure it would be nice. But you could just use a white pencil if you want the color to pop. I mean, I don't know, I have to try it out for myself to really give an opinion. But I do think that it would be very difficult for me to blend the eyeshadows. I have a very good feeling that they will be very splotchy and stuff, so I'm very reluctant to do that. I'm basically going to set the powder with this, with just a random powder. It's a translucent powder. I'm done setting my eyes. Next I'm going to go in with my Juvia's palette. I think even though the colors are amazing, sometimes I have difficulties blending them, especially with the matte colors. I mean, this palette is pretty good, but the Magic palette, there are those two matte dark blue and purple colors. Those give me such a headache while I'm blending it, and I can't basically use it as my transition shade or like anything that would require blending. All I can do is just pat it on my lid and stuff and maybe do a smoky eye, but nothing too major. Otherwise it just becomes splotchy and dirty. Something is telling me that I shouldn't use the hot pink color on my eyes, but let's see what happens. I'm in the mood for experimenting. Hopefully it turns out well. So I'm just going to take the color called Bori from the Juvia's Masquerade palette, and wow, it's very, very pigmented. I'm just going to rub some of it on my hand so that I don't go very harsh on it right away. Okay, so good start. So I'm just going to be applying it on my crease. See what I mean? I feel like it's just so much harder to blend, but considering the price, I can't really complain though. Right, so I'm just going to take another blending brush and hopefully that will help blend the color. A tip that I have for you guys when blending the eyeshadow is always use the brush, hold the brush here at the end and not exactly here, because that just makes the pressure over your eyes much more, and in that way you can sometimes move the eyeshadows too much from its place when you wouldn't want it to, and while holding it in this place your hands will be much gentler on your eyes and you will have better blending and much more control too. Can you tell I'm sweating? The camera shut off on me, so I'm not sure what you guys missed, but I'll start again. So I'm taking the color called Zobo, which is this beautiful reddish purple color from my Masquerade palette again. With the help of this angled blending brush, I'm going to tap some of it off, and then I am going to be applying it on the outer corners. First I'm going to be tapping it on my eye so that I get the most pigmentation here, and then I'm going to blend the edges using my brush. And the angled blending brush basically helps you to get more precision and more control over where you are applying the eyeshadow. Next, I'm just going to be using the edge of my blending brush, and I'm going to take some shadow there again, and I will apply the edge directly to my crease and then blend it along the way. Now if you're happy with how the whole pink and purples are looking, if it's bright enough for you, then go in with the lit color. Today I'm going to be using the golden color Dahlia from the Masquerade palette, which is this color right here. But this might be just too dark for the look that I'm going to be going for, so I'll be mixing these two colors, which is called Giza and Dahlia. So I'm going to be using my fingers, and I'll take Giza and Dahlia on two of my fingers. And first I will apply Dahlia, which is the golden color, on my eyes. And as you can see, it's quite deeper than what I was going for. Thus, the color Giza is going to help lightening it up a bit. So then I'm going to be using my brush to take the two colors and then apply it and blend the edges. Next, I'm going to be taking the purple color, which is called Zobo, and then sort of sandwich it between the two colors. And then I'm going to be taking a clean blending brush and blend the edges so that I don't have any harsh lines. Now if you want, you can totally keep the look like this, but I wanted something a tiny bit more sparkly and glowy. So I'm going to go in with my Milani Fierce Foil Eyeshine palette, which is basically a glitter palette, I think. But I really like this thing because I think it's very versatile and it just can take any look that you have to another level. But you have to be very careful when you're using it, because it can make your eyes very creasy if you apply too much. So what I basically like to do is whenever I want a very natural or application, nothing too over the top, then I just take my fingers and then gently tap it over the color. For today I'm going to be taking this color, which is a beautiful rose goldish color. Well, do they have any name? Unfortunately they don't have any name, so I'm just going to be taking this color on my finger as much as I can, and then I'm going to pat it on the area that I want to apply, like so. Do not ever rub it, because it's going to take the eyeshadow underneath it off, and it basically won't look flattering. And when you're patting it, you get the most out of it. Sometimes I go overboard with it too, and I will see creases, but it's okay. We can handle it. Next, I am going to be just drawing a winged liner, and I have difficulties applying the winged liner on camera, so let me try. Let's see if I can do it. So I'm having some sleepless nights, therefore my beautiful dark circles are very visible. So I'm just going to try a little bit to hide them, but not too much. Therefore I'm just using an orange corrector. This is the Other Girl Pro Concealer, and I'm going to blend it using my fingers, just a tiny bit. Today I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I do not like this foundation. I have been using this because I need to finish this up. More than that, I need to use up my Estee Lauder foundation, but that's another story. Hopefully I will be doing a review of a few products that I found disappointing this year, and that video will be up on my IGTV. hopefully, if I am able to do it. I'm very interested to see how the IGTV whole thing is going to work. I feel people will be more responsive there. So let's see what happens. Therefore, if you don't follow me on my Instagram already, be sure that you do that. So I'm just going to apply the foundation. Now, there are many people who love this foundation, and as much as I can appreciate the color range that they have in this range, I mean, it might be really good for the price. I mean, if you are someone who is just recently getting into foundations and stuff and like thinner coverage, then you can definitely try this out. But after trying out Milani Conceal and Perfect, I don't see myself using this foundation. I mean, I'm using it now. What I mean to say is I won't use it when I'm going out, because the main thing that breaks it for me, you know, when I'm using a foundation is the fact if it's long lasting. Because whenever I'm using a foundation, chances are that I will be staying out the whole night or I have an event, and I would prefer that foundation to stay put through the whole night, and this foundation doesn't do that. And considering that Milani is also a drugstore foundation, it does that. I mean, Milani Conceal and Perfect is also a drugstore foundation. It stays put the whole night. It's a very long lasting foundation. So if you are going to go for a drugstore foundation and you want that long lasting full coverage look, then I guess you would like Milani. But if you're someone who doesn't need their foundation to be long lasting and, you know, frequently goes out and need something very affordable and light, then I guess you could use the Wet n Wild foundation. As you can see, I use a very thin layer and it gives a good coverage. The problem with this that I find is the fact that it's just not long lasting, and I kind of feel that it sits on my face. It might be due to the powder that I'm using with this, which doesn't really, you know, mix well with the foundation. But I have seen so many people look amazing, you know, with this foundation on. Now there is something that I want to try out. I have always sort of applied my powder with my blender and directly from the palette, but I have found that it sort of again gives the feeling that your foundation is sitting on top of your skin. So I'm just going to be using a powder brush, which is this huge elf brush, and I'm going to be using that to be applying my powder on my face, hoping that it won't give the whole cakey look. So I'm just going to be taking the powder on my brush, and then first I'm going to make sure that I don't have any creases under my eyes because of the concealer. If there is, then pat it away, and then gently pat the powder under your eyes. Not bad. I sort of like the finish that, you know, using a brush gives rather than a blender. Now that we are done setting our face, the next thing that I'm going to do is I will take my contour duo again, and I'll take the bronzer shade with the same brush, or use a tinier brush if you're comfortable with that and if you feel like you have more control. And then I'm going to be taking this brush and I will apply it on this area of my face, basically to bronze up my face and give it some definition. Now that we are done with the bronzer and everything, I'm going to go in with my setting spray. I will be using my I'll be using my Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is what I use every time. Okay, so now I will give it some time to set on my face. In the meantime, I will be taking my Rimmel Scandalize eye pencil in the color Nude, and I will be applying it on my waterline. So for the inner corners and my eyebrow highlight, I'm going to be taking the color called Giza, this beautiful color, and I will be taking it on the same detailer brush and apply it in the inner corners. Beautiful. I'm feeling a little bit crazy, so I'm going to take the pink color and sort of pat it over the inner corner highlight, and then take Giza again and sort of make a sandwich of the two colors. And then I'm just going to take Giza and apply it on my brow bone. Now I'm just going to be applying some mascara and my eyelashes, and then I'll be right back. So I'm done with the eyes. Next thing, of course, my face. We are going to be applying the blush since we have already applied the bronzer. I don't contour that much at the moment. I have no idea why. So I'm just going to go in with this blush. This is a palette that I got from BoxyCharm. This is from Real Herb. Basically, use any, colored blush that you have. I'm going to be using this color because I don't want too pink in my look. So this is a very neutral, beautiful color. And to apply this, I'm going to be using this brush from Crown Brushes. This is again what I got from BoxyCharm, and I feel like this brush works the best with this blush palette. And I'm just going to apply it on my cheeks. I'm going to be using my highlighter. This is the Makeup Geek and Kathleen Lights highlighter. I love this highlighter palette. So as always, I'm going to be using a mixture of these two colors, and with the help of a tiny blending brush, I am going to be taking a mixture of those two colors. So I'm done with my lipstick. I applied the L'Oreal Infallible lip liner in the shade Nude, and this is the perfect color that I was going for. It's an orangish nude that perfectly fits the whole look. I wasn't able to wear this lip liner anywhere because I felt like it was too nude, but for a look like this, I think this one's perfect. So, oh my god, I'm dying. So that is the finished look, guys. I really hope that you guys like this look. If you do, then please do give me a thumbs up. It would really help me out a lot. And if you want to see more of my videos and get the notifications, then please press the subscribe button. It's the red button down below, and there is a little tiny bell icon right beside it. Be sure to press that so that you can get the notifications and not miss whenever I post. And I'm going to vacation on Bali, and hopefully I will be doing a few tutorials and maybe a vlog. I mean, I can't promise, but I'll try. And other than that, I hope you have a very nice vacation if you're having one. And if you're having your mids, then best of luck. Okay, bye. Thank you.